Welcome, Bessika, and thank you so much for being part of our show today. We're really looking forward
Thanks to you
to
for
our
inviting
discussion.
me.
Would you mind starting off with sharing with our viewers your journey from being crowned Miss Mauritius in 2016 until now, you're a yoga instructor now?
Yeah. So, the Miss Mauritius thing, it started with literally a dream. So I had a dream that I was on a stage and I was being crowned. Again, everyone that we were celebrating and everyone was clapping. And when I woke up, I was like, wow, that felt so good. And later during that day, I was on Facebook and I saw the subscription form for Miss Mauritius beauty pageant. And I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I just sent my pictures and just like sent the form. And after 2 weeks, I was selected among the 100 girls. And then there was a pre-selection among the 25 girls. There was the interviews, and I was selected among the top 12 girls. And the top 12 girls are in for the competition, preparation for I think 3 months of preparation. And during those 3 months, to the final day, the big day, I was just myself. I did nothing. I was just myself. I remember walking for the catwalks, just walking and smiling. And I just won, just like that.
So no preparation,
I was just myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't try that much. And the thing is, when I chose to send my pictures and everything, in my mind, it was not like I want to be Miss Mauritius. It was just I just want to be among the top 12. That would be enough for me. I just wanted that experience. And yeah, I just won. And yoga came right after I won, because I had to go for Miss World. And you have to present a talent for Miss World beauty pageant. And I know how to dance, but I'm not a professional dancer. So I had to look for a talent. And the president of Miss Mauritius organization, she looked at me and she was like, for you, yoga will be good. You have to start practicing yoga. And she introduced me to a teacher in Bucktawor. I started practicing yoga, and we did a yoga dance for Miss World. So lots of working. I worked a lot on flexibility and being graceful in my movements and all. And that's how yoga started. But at that point, it was just a physical aspect of yoga. And that's not really yoga, yoga is like a whole way of life. But that's how it started. And when I came back from Miss World, I practiced so much of yoga and getting into the flow, into the postures, that it just became a part of my life. I would just catch myself doing any yoga posture, just anywhere, wherever, whenever I feel like it. And I started teaching my friends and my family the yoga postures, until one day my friend was like, you know what, you will be a very good yoga teacher. And I just went for it again. I just felt like it would be really fun. So I just went for a yoga course in India, and I became a yoga teacher. But I was not very confident. After the first course, I had to do one more online, and then I just became more confident about teaching, and I just started. These are things that I just did it without thinking too much. I just felt like it would be a good thing to do, and I just did it. And yeah, and since 2019, I've been teaching yoga, and it's something that it's really fun. It's really fun, and I practice yoga I practice yoga every day, twice. When I'm teaching, I'm not practicing yoga, I'm teaching. It's not for me, it's for them. But then after my classes, I make sure I practice some for myself. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's natural.
And how do you tie yoga to happiness? How would you define happiness personally?
Yoga is a way of life. I feel for me, happiness is literally a state of being. It's a state of being, and it happens through choices, the conscious choices that we make every day. Every day, every minute of the day is the conscious choices, and those choices, I feel like they are related to what's best for me in the choices that we're making, what's going to contribute to my well-being. I think through that, it becomes these are the little actions, and then it becomes habits, and then eventually it becomes just the way you are. And yeah, and just the way you are, it's also related to being comfortable with yourself. Happiness to me is very much related to being yourself, being comfortable in who you are, regardless of what others say, what others think. Yeah.
So going back to the question of yoga, the link between yoga and happiness.
Yeah, because yoga, it makes, like, when you're practicing yoga, there are parts, it's not only about meditation, breathing exercises or postures, it's about being a specific type of person. Yoga has like 8 limbs, and one of the limbs, or 2 of the limbs, yeah, it's about being, like, speaking the truth, being truthful, non-stealing, non-violence, being kind to others, being kind to yourself. So that's how it's related to yoga, because when you're practicing those things every day, you become a specific type of person. You're so gentle and compassionate to yourself, and it just makes you so happy, and like you're naturally generous and compassionate towards others. It becomes so natural to be in a very good state of mind. And yoga, when you're practicing yoga, you're focusing on your body, on your breath, you're turning inwards. And the more you do it, you are less distracted by what's happening outside of you. And it's something that doesn't happen only on the mat during the class. It's something that eventually starts happening in your everyday life. When you're doing something, you're so comfortable with yourself that the other things, like, you're not easily distracted by other things that's happening externally. Yeah.
Do you find that your practice of yoga has helped you to find strength in yourself that you didn't know that you had beforehand?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. When you, like, I feel like our thoughts, it's true, but like our thoughts, they impact on our emotional and mental, like our whole being, our thoughts, what we are thinking. And again, it impacts on the choices that we make. So yeah. Sorry, what was your question?
Do you find that through yoga you have found that in yourself you can find self-validation, or like this strength in you that has come through you practicing?
Yeah, yoga. When you practice yoga, it's like I've said, like when I answered the question earlier, it's when you're not distracted by what's happening externally, you also slowly become detached from everything. Even chasing happiness, that's a kind of attachment. And it's not there. It's not there.
Yeah.
The moment you're not chasing that attachment, you're not chasing feeling good and feeling good all the time, it's when you're not attached, it naturally comes to you. So yeah, and yoga, it helps finding that inner strength through, when you're focusing on your breath. The mind, it controls the body, it controls almost everything that you do. But the breath, it controls the mind. The moment, like, you're focusing on your breath, your thoughts, they slowly, like, they're gonna dissolve. They're not gonna be there anymore. And even if they are gonna be there, you're focusing so much on your thought that you don't even pay attention to those thoughts. You're focusing on your breath.
Right.
Yeah, you're focusing on your breath that you don't even pay attention to those thoughts, or your thoughts don't control you anymore. You don't act from your thoughts. So that's how the inner strength comes, that the thoughts, like, you're so much more powerful than your thoughts. Like, I feel after my yoga sessions, I feel so powerful. I often catch myself saying I feel so powerful because I've noticed myself overcoming those negative thought patterns through my breath. So yeah, yoga really helps, especially breathing, mindfulness, loving meditation, especially meditation. That's really powerful.
Yeah. Something that I just want to go from what you were saying about concentrating on your breath and things like, because in this day and age, everything is so digital and instant, and with people, TikTok and different social medias and things like that, and putting ourselves out there through various social medias, our validation can come from out of ourselves. And what do you think about that? Like in this, you know, you're a young person of this generation coming through, and you're so different to other people in your age group because of this practice that you have.
Posting on social media, it becomes validation when, like, I've seen people saying, like, people who are like on social media, I'm very active on Instagram, like I'm not on TikTok or whatever, I'm on Instagram and I post. There's a difference between posting because, like, you know, it's related to my work, and versus posting and then waiting for how many likes did I get? Who commented on my picture? Is it bad? Is it good? Did someone say like I look good? You know, like relying on that to feel good, to feel happy, that's not healthy at all, because the moment you don't have those things, then what? Like, you don't have yourself. And I think that's very unhealthy if someone is relying on these things, like temporary validation or temporary happiness. I think that's very unhealthy. Yeah.
So would you say that you were already a happy person before you went for the pageant, before you became a Miss Mauritius?
Yeah, because I was always someone who loved being alone. Not like I would prefer being alone instead of being with others. No, like I was always so comfortable with being with myself, doing things that I enjoy. But because things that I've enjoyed, like I haven't found like many people enjoying the same things. So my circle has always been very small, and I was always been someone who has been very comfortable with being myself. And in fact, being Miss Mauritius and being surrounded by so many people, having to interact with so many people, doing things with other people that I did not enjoy, that has been a challenge for me. Yeah, it's quite the opposite for me. Yeah.
And somehow do you feel like being happy with yourself could have been one of the reasons why, you know, you became Miss Mauritius, because you were so, you know, confident, didn't need the validation, didn't need something else to make you happy.
I've noticed that when there's less resistance between you and something, it comes easily to you. I had that realization. I was like, that's how I won, because there was not that resistance, like I need it. And during the competition, I was often isolated, or even the jury members would notice that I'm always like on one side alone, and I heard that it was not a positive thing, but I couldn't help it. Like, that's just how I am. I tried forcing myself to fit in with the other girls or other members, but it didn't make me happy. So I just kept doing whatever I wanted to do because I didn't want to win anyway.
Yeah. What would you say to people who say, look, you're stunning, you're gorgeous, you obviously got, you know, Miss Mauritius title. If I were you, I would be happy, but I'm not. You know, I don't have your body, your physique. So yeah, maybe one day if I get to that level, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's like, yes, that's a very good question. I've never actually thought about it. But you know, if I had to rely on, like, especially we are talking about the physical beauty, right?
The looks.
Yeah. If we rely on that to be happy, then like the physical beauty doesn't last for too long, you know. That's not something to rely on to be happy. Even the attention from people that I get, like when I go out or even on Instagram, I get that attention. But what about when I'm not on social media or when I'm alone? What about that? Then if I have to rely on the attention or on the beauty or whatever, then when I'm alone, like I would be so unhappy. It's not something that like someone should rely on. And yeah, I get it. It's very easy to say that if I had that, then I would be happy. But the moment you have it, and then you realize that I'm still not happy, even if I have all these things, then you realize that happiness doesn't come from anything external, actually. That's the thing. It comes from within. And yeah, I get it. It's very easy. Maybe it seems like it's very easy for me to say that it comes from within. But it's like, I think people that have these things, people that have lots of money, beauty, or fame, I really believe that those are the people who are in the right place to say that these things do not bring happiness. Yeah.
What do you do to promote happiness within with your followers, because you have quite an influence around? What do you do to help promote that?
I encourage them to be themselves because I am myself all the time. You know, I don't pretend to be like the way I am here. I am like that on social media. I am like that behind closed doors in my house. Like, this is how I am. I just can't pretend to be someone else. And whenever I post, you know, I don't think about what will bring me more likes than I post that. I just post whatever I want to post. And I talk a lot about spirituality. I post things about how people can get to know themselves, because the more you get to know yourself, the more you accept yourself, the more you're connected to yourself, and you become more happy. You become happier. That this is what I do for myself, and this is what I share on social media. So I think I really encourage people to be themselves, and no matter what other people say or think of us, I really believe we need to be more ourselves, and this is
So
what I
that's
do.
your secret for happiness. Be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself. And there will be always people who won't like you when you're yourself, and that's the thing, and that's how you choose your path. It just shows that these people are not your people. Like, this is what I've been doing for myself. Yeah. Whenever I felt like, whenever I was myself, not everyone appreciated it. And I just realized that these are not my people. And the more I accepted myself, the more I found people who are my people. Yeah, the more you accept yourself, you find people who accept you for who you are.
And what do you do about those people who don't accept you or people who criticize you? Because you are on social media, you get both the positive and obviously you're exposed to the negatives as well.
I rarely get the negatives. I believe it's there, but it rarely reaches me. I think they just don't do it like on my face, you know. It's not there. But when it happened in person, especially, I just don't give my energy into that. Like, why would I? Like, I can't force someone to like me. I can't, like I'm not desperate for someone to give me attention. I just don't give my energy to those people, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
And like, my boundaries have always been very strong.
Okay.
And did you get that from your parents, do you think? Your family?
I think my mom, yeah, maybe, because I've not, when I was very little, I remember that when, like, there was a specific thing that happened, and she just left. She didn't give that her energy to that situation. She just left. And I've learned that. I think I've learned that from her. Like, when something is, like, you're not happy with something, you just leave. And that can be sometimes unhealthy, because not everything that makes you feel bad from the inside is not your thing. Maybe it's from your insecurities or past things that it reflects on your future situations or events. But like, when you combine this with yoga, then I started doing yoga, and the more I connected to myself, my higher self, like the real me, it encouraged me to just detach and not pay attention, not give my energy into things that do not serve me or who are impacting negatively on me, on my health.
Who do you think would benefit from yoga?
Literally everyone. Literally everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what if you've got people who are like, oh, I just like yoga, I've seen that classes can be 2 hours long or whatever. I don't have that kind of time, or blah, blah, blah. What would you say to those kind of people?
You know, yoga especially, it doesn't have to be 2 hours or 1 hour. Like, only 10 minutes, you start with 10 minutes. And when you start getting comfortable, because the thing is with yoga is when you start, you're gonna like it and you will want to do more. So I would just encourage those people to, like, just start with just a little, maybe 1 or 2 movements, or maybe not even 10, only 5, and keep doing those 5 minutes, even once a week or twice a week. And then when the body will naturally want more, and then they will naturally start doing more, like 20, 30, and then 1 hour. Yeah. Just start a little. It doesn't have to be too much.
Is there a particular physique that you need to have to be able to get into
No,
yoga?
no.
Don't
I
you
know
need to be
people.
flexible? I mean, people go on headstands.
Yeah, people, yeah, have had clients coming to me saying, yeah, I want to practice yoga, but I'm not flexible. We hear that all the time. But no, you don't have to be flexible to practice yoga. Yes, it's true that when I started the physical side of yoga, and like my back, like my spine was naturally flexible, but my hamstrings and my shoulders were not flexible. So, but I was still practicing yoga, you know? And the thing with yoga is when you're not flexible, it will help you to become more flexible. When we see those flexible yogis, it's because they practice yoga that they are flexible.
Yeah.
They are not like doing those postures because they were born. Yeah, we are born flexible, but with time, it's not the same, you know. But it's, yeah, you have to practice yoga, and then it will make you flexible. And the thing is, yoga teaches you to be gentle with yourself. When you can't get into a pose, the key is to accept yourself where you are. The moment you accept yourself where you are, your muscles become more relaxed. You allow your body to go deeper in the pose, you know, you breathe better. So it's all about being very gentle with yourself, very compassionate, and understanding yourself.
And do you think that there's a specific type of yoga that's best for beginners?
Yeah.
Because there's so many different types of yoga.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yoga, like it's a huge. Yeah, there's hatha yoga, the one that I teach. That's very gentle. It's very gentle. So it's all about doing gentle postures and breathing through those postures, focusing on your breath while being in a specific posture, and it promotes mindfulness. So hatha yoga, or even yin yoga or restorative yoga, these are very, very gentle types of yoga. Like you're not really moving a lot. It's very different from sports. It's very gentle, being in the present moment and very, really slowing down. It can be difficult for people who are always busy because suddenly you're slowing down. Everything slows down, your mind, the present moment. You have to stay here. That can be very difficult, but at least on a physical level, it's more gentle. Yeah.
And do you find that people who have, say, an attention deficit, you know, hyperactivity disorder, would they still be able to do yoga? Or even though you were saying like it can be very tricky?
No, yeah, that's the thing. It can be very tricky. Then for these people, I think it goes back to the answer previously. Start like very short sessions. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So going back to the theme of happiness and the link with yoga, have you encountered people that maybe came to you initially, maybe unhappy people, or didn't have this excitement in life, and then they went through yoga and you've seen a transformation?
Yeah, yes. I've had clients who came to me and they didn't tell me that they were unhappy and that's why they want to start yoga. But I just felt it, you know, you feel it when someone is not happy versus when someone is happy. And yeah, slowly, after like months, like 3, 4 months, I've noticed that they change. I've seen my students becoming so much more confident about themselves, and that's like something so positive. Like I love watching these individuals like changing from someone being unhappy, not confident, having low self-esteem, and then suddenly one day you see them like being very happy, like smiling all the time, being very confident, having high self-esteem especially. Yeah, I've noticed that.
And do you think that yoga can be a gateway into achieving like happiness in yourself and an inner self-confidence?
Yeah, like I've become so much more confident since I've been practicing yoga. I was not that confident when I was crowned Miss Mauritius. No, I was not. I thought I was, but I was not. Now after practicing, like being a yoga teacher and practicing yoga so much, like yeah, it helped me a lot into being such a confident person, and it helps my students also. Yeah.
Bessika, what's one myth that people have about yoga that you could debunk for our listeners today?
It's the one where people expect yogis to be calm all the time.
Composed
Yeah,
and
very calm, like
peaceful.
not getting angry, not
Okay.
having low moments in our lives. And that's not true at all. I've caught myself saying to people, just because I'm a yoga teacher, just because I practice yoga, doesn't mean I'm a calm person. That's not true at all, because we are human after all. And the world is all about the dark and the light. And we will always have that within us. And no, it's not true that just because we practice yoga, we are calm all the time. We are human, and we express emotions. We have our emotions, be it negative or positive, be it low or high. So yeah, that's one myth. It's like we are not calm all the time.
Okay, good to know.
I want to ask you, given that you're in such public light, you know,
Yeah.
you have many followers on Instagram, etc. When you are in a state of, let's say, you know, unhappiness, because like you said, it's normal, you're a
Yeah.
human being. How do you handle these moments?
You know, I don't distract myself. The moment I notice, I know that the moment that I am unhappy, it happens. It's not like I'm always happy and bubbly. Uh, Whenever I face those unhappy moments, I go deeper into it. I sit with myself. I try to understand myself, and I don't go for distractions, and I don't go to talk to someone else. I will do it afterwards, but first it's all about talking to myself, because I am that person. Like, I've experienced so much in my life, and I am that person who has experienced these things, and I've like, I'm really good at understanding myself. So yeah, the key is to just go deeper into it, having self-compassion and understanding myself, and especially not judging myself for being unhappy or feeling a certain way. I just notice it, and I keep it in mind that I am the one experiencing it. Like, it's like my body is experiencing it. It's not like I am unhappy, I am experiencing sadness or whatever. I am not that emotion, you know, I'm just experiencing it, and I go deeper into it. And the moment you know, you shed light on a specific emotion that you're feeling, it feels heard, it feels understood, and then you know what you have to do next. You know in the future that what to do in those situations, how to prevent those things. So yeah, this is what I do. I take care of myself first.
Okay.
I don't distract it. I don't distract myself. And then eventually maybe I will talk to someone else, not about it, but I will talk to someone, for example, my mom or my sister, because I know I'm going to feel good with them. So yeah, first of all, I focus on myself, go deeper into the emotion, and then I go do things that will make me happy. Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who will.
Yeah, it can be anything. It
Yeah.
can be just anything that would make me happy. Or maybe movement. Movement really makes me happy. I will go to the gym or practice yoga at home or talk to my mom or spend time with my cat. Anything that would make me happy. Yeah. But distraction comes, like, it's not a distraction. Let's call it distraction. It comes second. Something that would make me happy. But it's very important to take care of yourself when you're not happy.
Yeah.
What would you give as advice to anyone who feels like they've kind of lost touch with their own sense of happiness within themselves?
I'd like to, if someone is experiencing that, I would like to tell them, like, remember that this too shall pass. Like, and whenever I've experienced like those, I've been in months like not being in touch with myself, losing myself, and I kept telling myself, this too shall pass. Like, in the past there have been moments where we haven't felt like really okay or happy, but it eventually got better. You know, there's always a way. When we are in that moment, when we feel hopeless or unhappy, it's like our mind, it's obvious our mind will tell us that there's no way. Like, of course we are feeling hopeless, there's no way, but there is always a way. And like I said earlier, it's going to be very uncomfortable, but we need to sit with ourselves, notice that emotion, And you know, our emotions, they are here, especially the low ones, they are here to tell us that something is wrong. It's like a compass, like something is wrong. And it's like really, the key is to really go deep into that and listening to ourselves, like what's wrong? And why is it? And why are you feel like, why are you disconnected from ourselves? And most of the time, it's about the external things. It's about you didn't choose yourself. You didn't act like you wanted to act just because we were scared of what other people will think, you know? And most of the time, it's not your voice, it's someone else's voice. Someone else's voice that judged you, or you were scared, we were scared to be ourselves just because of others. I've noticed that it's always related to that. What will other people think? Or since we were like children, we were kind of forced to act in a certain way to be good children, just to please others. And it's something that follows in adulthood. You know, if someone is spending months being disconnected from themselves and being unhappy, it's definitely related to the conditioning that we've had, like the fear of being judged and the need to be a good person all the time. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. Like we should be kind, but you don't have to be overly nice all the time. Yeah, so I would tell that person to like learn to sit with yourself, be compassionate towards yourself. It's not easy. Of course, it's not going to be just in one day. But the key is really to shed light on the darkness, I would say, and remember that it's okay to feel that way, and not judge yourself for being in that state. We can't be happy all the time. Like I said earlier, the world is both dark and bright. And so, yeah, especially not judging yourself to be in that state, and be more compassionate towards yourself when you're in that state. And always remember that you are not unhappy. You are experiencing some kind of emotion, and that emotion is a messenger. It's trying to tell you something. So it's time to listen to it. You have the option to listen to it and change, or keep being unhappy, you know? That's the thing. So yeah, these are the keys.
Yeah, that's great.
So I've got a final question for you,
Yeah.
and it's a very tricky one. If, let's say, after those few weeks of dreaming about winning the crown of Miss Mauritius, and then it didn't happen, the dream didn't realize, would you still be happy?
Yeah, because I was already on the stage, you know. I've had like many moments when I was on the stage. Like for me, I had already won. It was not, I just wanted to know what's going to happen. What's going to happen if I go for it? And even if I didn't win, and I would have had my answer, well, that's what happened. Or even if I was not selected among the top 12, I would have my answer. And I remember those days in my head, it was like, I kept telling myself, you will never know if you never try. And yeah, I think that was a very powerful one. I don't use it anymore. Now I just do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kept telling myself, you will never know if you never try. So I just tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still be very happy. I would
Yeah.
still have, like, at least I had my answer.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't go for it, that would still be in my mind. I didn't try it. What if I had really won the competition, you know? At least I had the answer. At least, like in my life, I've noticed like I always needed clarity. You know, it was always clarity for me. I need clarity, even if the answer is not that good, or even if the answer is not what I expected. At least I have the answer, and now I know what I have to do. Yeah.
Great.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been lovely getting to know you and sharing your happiness journey. Well done on all your achievements and
Thank
following your
you.
dream, and
Yeah.
now doing yoga and teaching yoga to other people. So yeah, thank you very much for being here, and we wish
Thank
you
you so much
all
for
the best.
inviting me. Thank
Thank
you.
you.